What exactly are they upon? And what exactly are they promoting in these days? It was stated by the Christians themselves and by the people in the West themselves that the belief in Valentine's Day, or the celebration of Valentine's Day, it came from the belief that the founders of Rome, whose names were Romulus and Remus, that they were the sons of Mars, one of their false gods. They were the sons of Mars, one of their false gods. They were the twin sons of a false god who had ordered their mother not to have any children after murdering her husband, who was the former king. And so Mars impregnated the woman according to their fable and their myth and this legend of theirs. And they had to hide the children by throwing them into a river, and the river washed the children upon the shore, and a wolf dragged the children into a cave. A wolf dragged the children into the cave and started to nurse the children. And these children, they say, grew up to be the namesake where Rome was named after. What Rome was named after, and they were divine, according to them. And they said that they were demigods, that they were half God, half human. That they were half God, half human. Sounds like the belief of the Christians. They were half God, half human. And this wolf nursed them in the cave and tended to them in the cave and raised them in the cave, and they got from the wolf strength and intelligence. They got sharp minds from drinking from the milk of the wolf, and they got strong bodies from drinking from the milk of the wolf. And so every year in the month of February, which itself is named after a celebration in commemoration of the god that they call for Bruce, that they used to celebrate a festival. Before celebrating this next festival, they used to celebrate a festival saying that they were slaughtered to this god for Bruce in this month of purge the evil spirits from the land to make way for the spring season and the likes of these things. And then they came up with a new heresy, with a new pagan ritual, and they said that they were going to slaughter every year in the middle of February for a celebration that they called Lupercalia. A celebration that they called Lupercalia, that they would slaughter to the gods in gratitude, they said. In gratitude for sending Romulus to them to found their nation, that they would slaughter to the gods every year a goat and a dog. And then they would take the blood of the goat and the dog, and they would take a young girl and a young boy that were at the age of marriage, and they would paint them and coat them in blood. And then they would take the milk from the goat that they had slaughtered, and they would wash the blood off of them. And then this young boy and this young girl would be taken into the streets in a parade. They would be taken into the streets in a parade, and each of them would have the bloody skin of a dog, of the dog and of the goat. And they would go out into the streets smearing the blood on the people in the middle of February. Smearing the blood on the people in the middle of February. And especially the women, they would come from their homes. And as much as that, they were anticipating the springtime, and the springtime is a season of love to them. So they would come out from their homes, and they would believe that if they were smeared with this blood, that it would prevent or cure al-aqm, that it would prevent or cure infertility. And so they would come out happily getting smeared with blood in the middle of February. And then later in the Christian era, around the year 300, there was a saint, according to the Christians, a man who was claimed to be a saint, who disobeyed the orders of the king, whose name was Claudius II, who said that the boys at the age of military service were not allowed to get married because it prevented them from serving in the military. And so this monk, and this quote-unquote saint, he started to marry the youth in private. And they killed him in the middle of February. He was executed by the Emperor Claudius in the middle of February. And this is where they say they started to commemorate his life and have a festival, saying that just as the pagans in the past used to have a day for worshipful love, where they would come close to their deities, thinking that by slaughtering for other than Allah Ta'ala, slaughtering to these deities, that evil spirits and filth and so on and so forth will be purged from the city and purged from the Roman nation. They said just as that was the case, then this was a celebration for the ushaq. It was a celebration for lovers. And for young boys and young girls that were interested in marriage and the likes of these things. And so they merged the days together. And they came up with the celebration of St. Valentine's Day.